Hello, hockey, basketball, and soccer fans. My name is David. Thought I would start this video at 1:43 on the afternoon of Wednesday, 26th of June, Eastern Time. 12:43 the same afternoon, Central Time. So yes, here because going to respond to a couple of videos that I viewed at any point on Wednesday Eastern Time about the Winnipeg Jets. So one of them, was on claim by the Peg City Hockey YouTube ban on the supposed need for the Jets to buy out the contract of defenseman Nate Schmidt. Not sure if that's going to happen, but there's no question that the Winnipeg Jets defense, or the lack of defensive responsibility, is just a huge problem throughout the lineup. And I'm going to get into that other video that I'm going to refer to from Mike Bartner. He's an American YouTuber. He's cheers for the New York Islanders. And came out earlier this week with a bunch of tears of how various NHL teams during this past season end up doing. Well, I have to say that I agree with the rankings of the Canadian NHL teams. I'm not going to focus on the American one so much, because this channel I do is a lot of videos on Canadian sports teams. So yeah, so when it comes to the Canadian NHL teams, so I'd say that in terms of the tiers, I agree with how Mike ranked each of the Canucks, Flames, Oilers, Leafs, Sens, and Habs. I mean, certainly the Sens was just absolute disaster. Goaltending wasn't very good. Defense wasn't very good either. I mean, I watched so many games of the Ottawa Senators, and whether it was Ewan Korpisalo or Anton Forsberg, like a lot of those broadcasts, like, oh, that's another one in terms of the goal. Squeakers, 5 holes, flub the puck, whatever. Whether it was Korpisalo or Forsberg, goaltending was not very good. Defense wasn't very good either. A lot of the games, and can you blame Mike Bartner for having claimed the Sens' most recent season have been a disaster? Well, let's face here. Out of 32 possible points up for grabs in Western Conference arenas, how many did the Sens earn in the regular season? This many! Yes! Just under 10% of the available points in Western Conference arenas. In Sweden, the Sens actually beat a Western Conference team. That was considered to be a home game for Sens purposes, and there's no question about it. It was a disaster. I mean, when I see the Sens finish at best 4th in the Atlantic Division, they finished in 7th, and thus not in a playoff spot at all. I'm not really sure what's going to happen in the offseason, other than Linus Ullmark, swap between Linus Ullmark and Ewan Korpisalo. Korpisalo with the Bruins, with a quarter retained by the Sens of the Corpies cap hit, Corpies remaining preseason cap hit, and so Linus Ullmark. Let's see what happens, and if Ullmark will be an upgrade on Korpisalo. I'm sure Sens fans can only hope. And if you watch so many episodes of Game Over Ottawa on the SDPN YouTube page, co-host of that, the co-host of Game Over Ottawa, now the co-host of the Sens team Game Over channel, Game Over Network channel. Well, I'm not sure what happened with ESPN. I'm not sure what happened to it, but definitely looking forward to those off-season views. Also, the Locked On Sens podcast I watch a lot of. Those episodes, and the main co-hosts Ross Levitan, Brad Pillar, have given this to so many games Sens played this past season. So I'm not really surprised that Mike Bartner, a complete Sens outsider, also gave him a thumb down. But again, these are fans of the Sens who didn't like the way that their own team, their own favorite team, had played, and I don't blame them. This end season was an absolute disaster. And when it comes to I watch a lot of Stanley Cup playoff games feature Canadian teams, and the Oilers not having won fewer post 1967 cups than the Habs. I just said, yeah, I'm going to cheer for the Oilers because they're the only team left of those teams that I'd want to cheer. And yeah, the Oilers I think had an excellent season. I mean, the old cup or bust. Yeah, I know like the only TV YouTube band claimed that this season would have been a bust for the Oilers. I would say it's kind of an in between. I believe Mark Spector, Sportsnet, claimed that. So, an article he posted on Twitter, or the link to which he posted on Sportsnet posted on Twitter, I forget it was. There's no question. It was kind of in between for the Oilers. I mean, they got to a Stanley Cup final, but there's no question that they played relatively competent defense during each of during Game 7, gave them a chance to win that game. I wanted the Oilers to win, but they didn't deserve to win that game. They didn't find an extra gear in that game. They really need to do so. I mean, I didn't think it would necessarily be far apart, so if they're going to win, but they need to find a way to win, and they just didn't get it done. Sergei Bobrovsky, give him lots of credit. I mean, on the Panthers side, he deserved, to be MVP, to be named MVP with respect to the winning team. I mean, Connor McDavid was definitely, very good. Definitely had a good series. Again, there are some serious questions. The offseason, what happens to, re-signings potentially of McDavid and Draisaitl. Who knows? But okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna go back to the Winnipeg Jets. So yeah, Winnipeg Jets. Mike Barner claimed had been solid. So this is the third highest tier. Why would that be? Yes, when it comes to regular season success, there's no question. Indeed, 8 straight games to end the regular season, the Winnipeg Jets won all of them. But come playoff time, what happened? They ended up losing a whole bunch of games by at least this many goals. And they allowed, excluding empty netters, at least this many goals. 9 straight playoff games the Winnipeg Jets have allowed, whether or not there were empty netters in any of those games, at least this many goals. 9 in a row. So how can this past season not be classified as anything but a disaster? To me, it's simple. It can't be. The defense is, there's those lumps, they say, Kevin Shamlin is the god of a GM. He's not. He's been in the position since the second coming of the Jets, relocated from Atlanta with the Thrashers. Thrashers never won a playoff series. The Jets have already won 3. But 2 of those playoff series wins were back in 2018 in a conference final. Since then, the Jets have only won 1 playoff series, and that was a 2021 sweep of the Edmonton Oilers. Indeed, the Jets have not won a playoff game beyond an opening round series since that 2018 postseason. That's right. Well, we ended up winning 1 game in that conference final, I believe it was. But there's no question. The Winnipeg Jets 2023-24 season can't be classified as anything but a disaster. To be determined will be what changes will come to the roster. I mean, Laurent Brossoit may very well test free agency. And because that's unrestricted, the Jets are not entitled to compensation if he walks. And they're going to need to figure out which goalie is going to back up Connor Hellebuck. Because, yeah, Connor Hellebuck is great regular season goalie, but they're going to need a reasonably competent backup if they're going to get through the regular season. I mean, the 2021-22 season was, even with Connor Hellebuck, not a good one. He just didn't see playoff action at all. So it'll be very interesting to find out who that backup to Connor Hellebuck is. Hellebuck was not injury prone this past season. I mean, it's a surprise because of how many games he's played. I forget how many he has. I mean, but there's still the risk. I mean, what's happened, since the 2020 playoff bubble at Rogers Place to Canucks main goalie Thatcher Demko. Very injury prone. Played, I believe, only one playoff game. Yeah, and a whole bunch of goalies Canucks had, and Demko were relying way too much on Thatcher Demko when none of the others were reasonably competent. Whereas Braden Holtby in 2020-2021 season of the North Division stint, pretty much all those teams for Canada were based in that division. It was an all-Canadian division. 2021-22, yeah, Demko, Yarhalak was the goalie, was the main backup. Very inconsistent. There was that big game, late in February, Easter time, over at the Prudential Center. 7-2 was lost by the Canucks to the Devils. Yarhalak allowed multiple ugly goals in that game. Ugh. So yeah. And then it was 2022-23 season. Yeah, Spencer Martin, who had been okay, it was really okay the season before that. Just kind of wasn't really good in the regular season. Colin Delia wasn't particularly good. Sieves, too many ugly goals that, Delia and Martin allowed. Canucks placed Spencer Martin on waivers late last September, and was claimed by the Blue Jackets, but really was just kind of, lack of confidence. Spencer Martin might appear to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, but just there was a time limit on his effectiveness, and he was just, he just made just needed to change scenery. Colin Delia, I don't think was ever called up to the NHL during non-preseason play with the Winnipeg Jets. Well, Brasso was a great goalie, behind Connor Hellebuck. So let's see what happens. There are going to be some changes of in terms of the goalie, in terms of the goalies by Canadian NHL teams. I mean, meets for some of them. Arthur Shilovs of the Canucks cannot be ruled out to be a legitimate backup. If he's not offer sheeted, he is a restricted free agent with neither arbitration rights nor 10.2 seat status. So that means the Canucks give him a qualifying offer. They have a chance to retain his rights. And if he is offer sheeted, and the Canucks don't match whatever other team offers him a higher per season cap hit, Canucks get compensation somehow. Not really clear how that's going to go, but so there may be changes. Casey Smith is a pending unrestricted free agent, and yes, there's no question. That in terms of goalie changes, there are going to be a number of them. I mean, I can't think of a Canadian team other than the Habs that that won't be affected somehow. In fact, let it go from Western to Canada, so the Canucks. Quite possibly, Shilovs will be gone if he's offer sheeted. He's a Leg Rocks 99 YouTube man put up a video about the possibility of an offer sheet coming Shilovs' way by a non-Canucks NHL team. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but yeah, I'll check that. Calgary Flames trade Jacob Markstrom to the Devils for defenseman Kevin Dahl or Ball, I forget what it is. I forget what the name is. But yeah, trying to go with Dan Vladar and Dustin Wolf for the coming season. Edmonton Oilers, Calvin Pickard is a pending unrestricted free agent, so who knows what's going to happen. But definitely, Jack Campbell did not have a very good regular season. It was, lack of confidence meant down he went, put on waivers, and he was played the rest of the 2023-24 AHL, ECHL, NHL season with the Bakersfield Condors of the AHL, and was never used in a postseason game at the NHL level. So yeah, yeah. So the Oilers, there may be a change or two. Whether there'll be a buyout of Jack Campbell, who knows? We're just gonna find out what happens. So we go with the Jets, and yeah, when Laurent Brossoit, who knows what's gonna happen? There have been rumors linking Laurent Brossoit to the Leafs. Who knows what's gonna happen? Leafs' own goaltending situation. I'm gonna get to that. Definitely not as clear as mud. Elias Samsonov did not have a great season. There were 2 games in the postseason where he allowed multiple ugly goals, and so many games where he allowed multiple ugly goals, and actually cost the Leafs standings points. Leafs barely finished in a top 3 divisional spot, finishing 3rd. Not far ahead of the Bolts. And Samsonov was responsible for a lot of those games. Ugly goals. Defense wasn't good, but holy smokes, Samsonov had to be better. To be determined will be whether Bradford Living, the GM of the Leafs, will bring Samsonov back. Hopefully not. It would be absolutely a dumb move to do. But the goalie market is, goalies are in high demand, and it'll be a question of what the Leafs do. Martin Jones is a pending unrestricted free agent. Joe Wall has been injury prone for quite some time. I mean, this past season, he had, an injury stint that lasted for around 2 months, and then he lasted 2 games in the postseason. Well, he played in parts of 3 games from the basically from the third period of Game 4 to the third period of Game 6. He completed, Game 5 and 6, Game 7 not available. But the end, be very interesting. The Ottawa Senators, we said the change. Leon Solmark's big one. The Habs going with Sam Montembeault, Gaten Primo. What happens after this coming season? Who knows? Gaten Primo believes the contract expires next season, in June 2025, whereby he will then get to exercise arbitration rights as a restricted free agent, provide the Habs give him a qualifying offer. Whether the Habs will re-sign Primo before that contract expires to be determined. And yeah, Leafs in their minor league system have Keith Petrocelli, the pending RFA with arbitration rights. Not really clear if the Leafs are going to re-sign him, but let's see what happens. So yeah, I'm going to end off the video. So, so if you like the video, please make sure to click that like button. I do encourage anyone to subscribe to the channel. It means videos that you like. The mine will appear in your feeds. Anyone who subscribing is completely free. When it comes to notifications, anyone who wants more timely notifications of videos that I put out on YouTube, it's free to click the notification bell. Try to put out videos, whether short or long ones, multiple times a week. With the NHL off-season underway for all teams, I'm going to say with respect to teams which I cheer, go Leafs go, the NHL side, go Raptors go with respect to the NBA teams, go Toronto FC go with respect to soccer teams, and with respect to other Canadian national teams for which I cheer, including for the upcoming Olympic Games, the Canadian women's soccer team, as well as the 2 3-on-3 basketball teams and the women's 5-on-5. The 3 basketball teams are qualified. At least one of each of 3-on-3 and 5-on-5, which are those tiers. As well as the Canadian under 18 men's team slated to compete in the Holinka Gretzky Cup in August. Say, go Canada, go.